Tower American 95, 10 miles out on the ILS.
American 95, Kennedy Tower, following Airbus 319 ahead, 105 number 3.
Hello, everybody. I'm DerTebbers. Welcome aboard. Welcome to Sitka, Alaska. Welcome aboard our Aerospatiale or Eurocopter or I guess Westland, or you can call it whatever. I don't remember what company owns what anymore. It is the HH-65, a Dolphin or Dolphin if you want to be that person. This is a twin-engine, single-main rotor medevac capable search and rescue helicopter operated by the United States Coast Guard. It's a variant of the AS-365 Dolphin, which is where you get the Dolphin thing. I've tried to shut this down. I've been sitting here waiting for the rotors. The rotor brake actually doesn't work in this thing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So we're going to go ahead and ask her to start up. There we go. All right. So that's firing up our two Turbo Mecha Ariel 2C2-CG turboshaft engines, 853 horsepower each. That doesn't sound like a lot, but the helicopter isn't very heavy overall. We're talking about a helicopter that weighs less than 10,000 pounds, and a lot of people are like, that's 10,000 pounds, that's a lot of weight. Not much in the world of helicopters, I'll tell you that much. Not much in the world of aircraft in general. Now, the SA-366 G1 Dolphin version was selected by the United States Coast Guard in 1979 as its new short-range recovery air-sea rescue helicopter to replace the Sikorsky HH-53 Sea Guardian. I think we have engine revs. Yep. There we are, and there she is in her let's go look. And this one, the reason we're at Sitka, by the way, this is actually based at Sitka. You'll notice if you look at the tail boom there, Sitka, yeah. This pack has helicopters for all of the major Coast Guard bases that operate these style of helicopter. There's her winch over there. Very famous helicopter if you're used to seeing Coast Guard rescues. In a total, 99 were acquired and optimized for search and rescue and given that designation HH-65A. Now, they don't fly A's anymore. Let me just tell you that right now. They don't fly A's. They fly C's. We'll talk about that later. This helicopter is used for homeland security patrols, cargo, drug interdiction, ice breaking, military readiness, pollution control, and most famously, search and rescue. It is known for its Fenestron tail rotor and its autopilot capabilities, that ducted fan style tail rotor. Yeah, it's pretty important back there. Now this autopilot can complete an unaided approach to the water and bring the aircraft into a stable 50-foot or 15-meter hover or automatically fly search patterns. And this allows the crews to engage in other tasks like looking out the windows to see if they can spot the person in the water. 75% of the structure of this helicopter, including the rotor head, rotor blades, and fuselage, are corrosion-resistant composite materials. Some Coast Guard pilots nickname this helicopter Tupper Wolf. I'll let you figure out why they call it that. Now that Fenestron composite tail back there has 10 blades spinning in that housing. Allows the helicopter to spin it a little bit slower and maintains less likely to hit something with the tail rotor. I mean, if you tap the tail, you're not going to bust your tail rotor quite as badly as you would with another helicopter. So this helicopter is certified for single pilot instrument flight rules. And it's the first helicopter certified with a 4-axis autopilot, allowing for that hands-off hover over that predetermined location. So again, I can spend my time looking out the window trying to find somebody who's in need of rescue rather than flying the helicopter if I need to. Now, the Dolphin is primarily a short-range helicopter. There are now 102 of them in the Coast Guard fleet. They have 17 port cities in the Atlantic and Pacific, Gulf of Mexico, Hawaii, and the Great Lakes. Now, it is usually deployed from shore, but it is also deployable from the medium and high-endurance Coast Guard cutters, as well as the polar icebreakers when they're not in port getting serviced. And when deployed on the icebreakers, this becomes the eyes of the icebreaker, able to go out ahead looking for thinner and more navigable ice channels, as well as airlifting supplies and helping scientists out. Now, I mentioned that there's a C version. Now, the C version has uprated engines. And another thing that the C version has is a FLIR system, because these are now used for a particular drug interdiction mission, which was controversial when the Coast Guard first took it on. They attempt to intercept go-fasts. Now, go-fast is a very powerful, very fast boat that attempts to go from South America into the United States to bring in drugs. Now, how do you stop a go-fast when you're in a high-endurance Coast Guard cutter? Well, you launch a 65C with a 4-man crew. You'll have your pilot, you'll have your co-pilot, you have your flight engineer, and then you have your gunner. Now, Coast Guard isn't known for shooting people because they don't. Instead, what the Coast Guard does in these missions, which are based out of Miami, is they intercept with the 65C. They get into a position where a gunner, who's located in the door right there underneath the winch, puts a .50 caliber sniper rifle hanging on a strap rope, and he shoots out the engines. Does not shoot a person, they shoot the engines to disable it. And then Coast Guard has their own go-fast, inflatable, partially inflatable, rubber boats that they send out. And then this helicopter flies a suppression mission overhead so that if somebody aboard that go-fast decides they're going to pull a gun, then the Coast Guard will kill somebody. It is an extremely... I watched a training on the shooting from the helicopter. It is unbelievable. And of course, Coast Guard is most famous when you see them plucking people out of the ocean for whatever reason. Very dangerous job. I do have a few friends that fly or flew for the Coast Guard. It is dangerous no matter how much. These guys will take off when nobody else will take off. And interestingly, for some people, if you're in the military, you don't damage your aircraft in non-combat situations. You don't damage that aircraft. You fly within a very predefined envelope. If a person's life is on the line, the Coast Guard is allowed to damage their aircraft if they can save that person's life. So there is a book that I read about a large-scale rescue mission in the Bering Sea. And one of these 65s, an A model, had to take off from the back of a medium endurance, but the wind loading was such that it was going to over-torque his rotor head to take off. There were lives on the line, so he over-torqued his rotor head and took off. That's something that you would see from most other services. There you go, that is the 65C. Let's get inside. Now, you have noticed, I am sure, that weird thing. Where's my mouse? There it is. This weird thing going on in the cockpit. I don't know what the deal is with that, honestly. I have no idea. Also, this cockpit is a fake virtual cockpit. It is just pretty pictures because you can't actually click on just about anything. You can on some things, but then if you go to Shift 1, then you're going to get more items that you can click on. Shift 2 gives you the co-pilot's view. 3 gives you your comm stack, all of your fuses, and a few other fuel transfer pumps, your navigation, etc. 4 gives you your emergency cutoff, your generators, etc. for that. Here is your electrical panel for your position lights, your step lights, etc. Here we have our cutoff, ground idle. So I'm actually on the ground, so let's ground idle our equipment. This also, by the way, is where my rotor brake should be, but it doesn't work. 7 gives me this, which I honestly don't know what it is because no pop-ups are available. 8 gives me my my annunciator panel. And 9 gives me my GPS. Pretty darn nice looking piece of equipment here. I do wish that virtual cockpit was a little bit prettier. But overall, nice looking helicopter. If you're looking to complete your Coast Guard fleet, I mean, we've done the C-130 in Coast Guard livery. Did the UH-60 or HH-60 Jayhawk last week. We've done the 65. We've done I believe we did the Sea Guardian. If not, we're doing the Sea Guardian in the future. So if you're looking for Coast Guard helicopters or Coast Guard equipment, this one certainly is going to be a decent enough one to add to your library, your hangar, your library. Hey, idiot, you can't actually do that unless you put it back in flight. Derp. There. Now I can take off. There we go. Alright, I've been DerTebbers. This has been your Flight Simulator X Helicopter Spotlight. The HH-65 Dolphin. Until next time, game on, be awesome, and pay attention when you go out there in the ocean. You don't want the Coast Guard to come get you.
Alpha 1283, Kennedy Tower, greetings. Falling heavy, Boeing 767 touching down. Caution wake turbulence from 05012, number 24 right to the left.
Going in 4 right, no 1283, copy all.
8 Lima Bravo, traffic just north of the airport, opposite direction along the track routing. A helicopter not under defeat, yes, you in sight.